Have you answered all of them?
Yes, I have, Chairman.
Thank you. Pkosing, I wanted to close here, but I'll give you half a minute.
Thank you, Chair, and for indulging me. I really appreciate. I want to be on record, Chair, not really as a question, but maybe a comment. By saying, Chair, that I've listened. First of all, I looked at when you gave us the opportunity to look at that office, cabinet or secretary of the cabinet. And I was asking myself, vetting this office for what as Parliament? Now to be on record, Chair, because maybe our contribution, our talk might lead to amendments or changes that might give this office some significance. There before, in the past, this office was very powerful. Why? Because it was head of public service and secretary to the cabinet. That was when this office was really important. Last Parliament, we declined one person who was being proposed for this office, and Parliament declined and rejected. That is the first rejection by Parliament. They may not say it's a person, but Parliament rejected. And yet, Honorable Chair, that office functioned even without approval of Parliament for about 10 years. So maybe going forward, maybe the people who thought about this office being in the Constitution Speaker and being vetted by Parliament, that the function would also involve the public service or something like that. Maybe in future, so that it has a meaning. The nominee has really undergone grueling process, but if you look at the end, at the further end, you ask yourself, what is she going to do? So I wish her, if Parliament approves her, I wish her well. But in future, maybe that office should be combined with the Secretary of Cabinet and Head of Public Service. That's when it will have a meaning, Honorable Speaker. I thank you, in my opinion.
Yes, Ferdinand, I saw you raising your hand. I want us to...
It's more or less touch on what I've said. But looking at where you're coming from, that office has been vacant for some time. It doesn't matter your background. You're a lawyer, can see, you know most of the things. You've been truly in the private sector, and you're getting into the political area, which is actually very, very stormy. I don't know how prepared you are to be able to get in there. Of course, you have mentioned about it, but I just felt that maybe this position, you'll have continued where you are. And this position is, I don't know, it's not easy. Because it's not been there.
Ichungwa?
Chair, I think it's fair what the honourable members are raising, including the proposals by Honourable Pkosing. But we must also bear in mind that the president had his reasons, both the former president and the current president, in separating the two offices. But maybe just as I conclude, to inform the nominee, should you be approved, things work a little differently in the public sector than in the corporate world, where you are coming from, and you may need to do a lot of learning. That's why I was asking you a very simple question, where Teso South is in Busia. No, Honorable Junaid said she knows where Migori is because she has been functioned with her in Migori. So you may need to quickly appraise yourselves on issues that may be outside the office setting, especially more so even in opening up the office to members of parliament, as you hear people saying here, to be able to engage more with people and be appraised also on people issues, so that you, even as you sit in cabinet, you're also appraised of the issues that touch on the people. And we say that because we sit here representing people who have sent us here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Speaker.